Welcome back. Patreon.com/Derrick Lamon. Experience your one-stop shop for your gaming news. As always, we do this every Saturday afternoon at 2 p.m. here on Patreon. If you're listening to this on Apple Podcast, Spotify, YouTube, any of the free feeds, or even the free tier of Patreon, that means you're probably not subscribed. Or you could be subscribed and you could just be a really, really cool fan. It's like, I'm going to support him everywhere, which I appreciate. If you are not subscribed, come on over to patreon.com/Derrick Lamon Experience, because I got a lot of cool exclusive audio and video content available here from myself. And sometimes I have some people on to help me out, like my kid, my nieces and nephews, stuff like that. So I don't know, my brother will be home in a bit, so we'll see if he's going to jump in as well. Not really sure, but if you're interested, again, that's patreon.com/Derrick Lamon Experience, your one-stop shop for your gaming news and much, much more. Welcome back to the week in gaming. I want to start off with this because it seems to still be a hot topic. So PlayStation Network was down after, and this coming on the heels of the announcement that PlayStation would stop producing physical discs for PlayStation games as of January 2028. So PlayStation Network went down on Friday. It was down probably not as long as I thought it was based on what I was seeing online because I was at work. Then I come home and they're like, oh, it wasn't down as long as people, because I didn't even touch my PlayStation Friday night because I'm like, it's down. It doesn't fucking matter. And then I got up Saturday. I was like, well, let me fucking check. And it was perfectly up. By the way, I actually rolled credits on Batman, Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight last night while we're at it. But so days shortly after this, Xbox Live goes down. Well, the whole Xbox network. So everybody's like, okay, this all digital future they're talking about, we're not really ready for it. So GameSpot.com, it's not just you, the Xbox network or parts of it, depending on when you read this, is down. After users across the globe began reporting issues with the Xbox network, Xbox identified several issues affecting its online services today. At the time of writing, the following functions are still experiencing major issues on the Xbox network: account and profiles, store and subscriptions, games and gaming, apps, and mobile. These problems were widespread and included the inability to sign into the network, services disconnections, and missing games from the storefront. Xbox says the problems were identified and it was working on a solution, which it came to. There was no estimated time for ETA for these errors to be fixed. They have been taken care of as of this point. Quote, we are aware that some users are encountering errors when attempting to sign in, see your game library, or launch games. Xbox's official support account posted online. Our engineers are actively working to mitigate the issue. Console gamers also had to contend with an outage on the PlayStation Network last week, which saw account management, gaming, and social PlayStation Video, the PlayStation Store, PlayStation Direct go down for several hours. Bad timing for anyone looking to jump into the Marvel Token open beta. More fuel for the fire that PlayStation social media has become as users demand that Sony reverses the decision to kill disc in 2028. If they were like, hey, we're going to push that back to 2029, I don't think it still buys them. Everybody's like, oh, cool, a year. It's still fuck you. So I don't think it's buying them any crazy good faith or anything like that. But we're clearly not really ready for this all digital future. The thing I want to say to you guys, and I'm pretty sure I probably said this before, but the minute we all signed up to be constant users of Netflix and Hulu, Disney Plus, all that stuff, the minute we all thought it was cheaper to cut the cord and stream all of our content, the minute they took CD players out of cars, and the minute we started consuming our music on our phones instead of going into stores and buying physical copies and stuff like that, and how many people still have a stereo system in their home. I'm looking for one because I gave mine away a few years back. I feel like a fucking idiot for doing so. I miss the big speakers, the receiver, all that stuff. I really miss that, and I'm really, really big on physical media. So that was a really stupid because I gave away like my stereo, but I kept all my CDs and kept all my records. It's like, you're a fucking idiot, Derek. And yes, I'm quite aware. But the minute we all signed up for that stuff, we said it was okay to go to this all digital future. And again, I know everybody's online like, Sony's wrong. They may be, but the numbers prove that there have been more purchases digitally than physically. I don't expect that just because there was this outage for PlayStation Network for a few hours and then we got an outage for Xbox a couple of days later. Literally, what, 2 days? PlayStation was out Friday, Xbox was out Monday. So 2.5 days later, they're not reversing course, you guys. This is what it is. All right. And the fact that people are like, well, PlayStation's wrong. Guess what? If you buy third party games for the Switch 2, it's just a key card. There's no actual physical game on that card. You like everybody's doing this. Microsoft having these conversations about disc to digital. Why would they do that? Because they're going digital. Think about like there's a digital PlayStation 4 and then the digital PlayStation 5 and then the PlayStation 5 Slim. You can get with or without the disc drive. The PlayStation 5 Pro does not have a disc drive. The Series S, and there's also a Series X without a disc drive. Microsoft is soon to follow suit, you guys. So I need you to calm down. Now, despite this, gamers plan PlayStation blackout, but will it mean anything to Sony? If you've been on social media recently, you might have noticed a new initiative gaining traction. It's a spot of planned action against Sony's recent decision to scrap physical games come January 2028. It's manifesting in the form of a hashtag. Hashtag blackout, hashtag PS blackout. From August 23rd to the 30th, this is ridiculous. Gamers everywhere are saying they'll down PlayStation tools and not switch on their consoles, play any games, or make PS related purchases for an entire week just to show Sony how serious they are. When you scale out and look at the bigger picture, it might be extremely fruitless. It means absolutely nothing to Sony. This is true. Placed on July 26th, a profile dubbed Does It Play posted an image with an agenda. It was a message seeking support from like minded gamers worldwide, urging them to shut down their PlayStation platforms between August 23rd and the 30th in a bid to stick it to Sony. This is what it says. Quote, for several years, Sony Interactive Entertainment has continued to grow further apart from its fan base, whether it's closing beloved studios like Bluepoint, pursuing a misguided live service strategy, canceling fan events, leaving PSVR 2 to die. They're not wrong on any of these. They've hit on every point so far. That Bluepoint closure was ridiculous. The live service strategy was fucking ridiculous. I'm not gonna lie, I forgot about PSVR 2 because they haven't talked about it or supported it. Canceling fan events. PlayStation Experience was awesome. PlayStation has never felt more disconnected from its community. Ending physical disc in 2028 feels like the last straw. We understand that there's only so much SIE can control. Excuse me. But with the decisions that are within its control, the company continues to mismanage the strong position it inherited from the PS4 era. Well, the PS2 era was very, very fruitful for Sony. And then guess what happened? The PlayStation 3. Every time they get ahead, they're like, we're so far in the lead, we can do whatever the fuck we want. And that's how you get the PlayStation 3 launching with two SKUs at $500 and $600 and not having x86 architecture and developers complaining about the fact that they had developed for this hardware. Gabe Newell. So when it came to the PlayStation 4, they had to reverse course. They had to make the gamers fall in love with them again. Never. Generally, when the price of something goes up, it sets the new price. Some consoles back in the day used to be $300 at launch, and you very rarely got them. And then by the time they went down to $150 or $100, that's when like mainly the masses acquired them. The PlayStation 3, again, $500 for the 20 gig SKU, and then $600 for the 60 gig SKU. They went back $100 and $200 on the PlayStation 4. PlayStation 4 came in at $400. We get to the PlayStation 5, $400 for the digital, $500 for the physical. I had really no arguments there. Now, the memory crisis has caused all the prices to be through the fucking roof. So, again, a lot of people thinking the PlayStation 6 could launch around $1,000. I don't think Sony's that stupid, but you never fucking know. Problem with this is how much good faith will they have by the time the PlayStation 6 comes out? It goes on to say there are so many issues with PlayStation right now. They're bringing back physical games would only be meeting players halfway. There's still much more SIE can do. We miss Twisted Metal, SOCOM, Sly Cooper, and Resistance. We miss PlayStation Experience. We miss Japan Studio. Twisted Metal and SOCOM, even Sly Cooper, I'm with you on that. I just don't think could a modern Resistance game be cool? Yeah, for sure. Is Sony gonna tell Naughty Dog to stop working on huge Marvel IP to work on Resistance? Probably fucking not. You have to understand that Doomsday is coming, and then Avengers Secret War, and then now we know that Ryan Gosling is playing Ghost Rider. We now have the cast for Black Panther 3. The MCU might, and the X-Men is coming, right? The MCU might see an uptick. If Sony is going to continue to have Insomniac putting out, Marvel games, that's probably the best thing they could do. I don't think that Sony is tell Insomniac like, "Hey, I want you to take a small team and I want you guys to create another Resistance game." I just don't see that happening. Anyway, back to the post. With that, we are calling on PlayStation players to participate in an economic and gameplay blackout from Sunday, August 23rd at 7 p.m. local time through Sunday, August 30th at 7 p.m. local time. Players can participate by turning off their consoles or logging out for 7 days. We feel that this period gives publishers and developers minimal impact while still giving players a voice. During that week, gamers will try their darndest not to play any PlayStation games and, more importantly, not to make any purchases on the PlayStation platform. There are a few reasons why this doesn't make so much sense. This is from Insider Gaming, not me. First, Sony Interactive Entertainment won't suffer from a few thousand players switching off their consoles for a week in late August. If anything, they benefit from that. Well, why would they benefit? Well, less people online, less clogged servers and stuff like that. All right. I'm just going to tell you guys right now, I do see some people doing this. I don't see everybody just like, yeah, we're not going to play our PlayStation. I have friends who game casually. They play Call of Duty. They'll be playing Madden and stuff like that. They play 2K. This is not even reaching their doorstep. It's not going to reach their phone unless I bring it to their attention. They more than likely, actually, I'm not going to say more than likely, they 100% don't care if it's physical or digital. Why? Because most of them are buying their games digitally from the PlayStation Store app on the PlayStation 5 or the PlayStation 4. You guys, we signed up for this. The minute they told us PS4 and Xbox One would be able to download games, full games digitally, and everybody's like, well, fuck it, I don't have to go. That the midnight release was done. A lot of stuff was done. A lot of stuff was done. A lot of people just aren't going to participate in this, I promise you. PlayStation's network infrastructure, the ever so reliable PSN, uses AWS as a backbone. That's Amazon Web Services, and the Power Cloud components for the PS4 and PS5. This typically relies on elements like elastic scaling, which adjusts load automatically based on traffic volume to ensure peak cost efficiency. So again, a lot of people online is not a bad thing for their servers. Services powered by AWS include everything from party chat and user profiles to digital storefronts and game services. That means if fewer people are using the PlayStation Network for a week, Sony Interactive Entertainment will theoretically save money. We know this because last year Sony explained how it uses a fully automated Kubernetes platform at the heart of which sits scalability and flexibility. Second, no PlayStation exclusives are coming out in that week. Sure, the Post argues that this period enables activists to have an impact on SIE while not impacting developers and publishers. But if you're not speaking with your wallet, you might as well not be speaking at all. Why not host this action between September 14th and 20th when Marvel's Wolverine comes out? That's the most anticipated PlayStation exclusive in a hot minute. That's right, because stacks of PlayStation gamers know that would disrupt their real plans. Now, what I think will be interesting to see how many folks participate in the PS Blackout hype by Wolverine digitally, and I'm pretty sure a ton of them already have. You know what they say? It's easy. Like if you're playing sports, it's easy to talk shit when you're ahead. Michael Jordan said that, but when you're up against it and you're battling and the score is tied or you're down some, you don't want to talk shit then. This is what this feels like. Just being honest with you. And here's the thing. They might get to it, and if they don't, I'll bring it up. Third, we know from the tried and tested numbers that digital purchases make up the overwhelming majority of sales on PlayStation platforms, and they have for some time. As little as 15% of the volume is represented by physical sales, and assuming only a few thousand participate in the blackout, you've got the minority of minority taking part. Recent numbers suggest that PlayStation Network houses more than 120 million users, and since launching in 2020, 93 million PlayStation 5 consoles have been sold. Congrats, they're still selling consoles. For all those voices, most of the social energy is perpetuated by vocal edge cases, and the big petition effort mustered against Sony gathered just 344,000 signatures in a month. That number might sound admirable, but it's just 0.2% of PSN users signing that petition. Sony hasn't made a peep about it. What will they do when a couple of thousand at most, I assume, users don't play PlayStation games for a week? Also, it's the end of the month, which means many folks will have their PS Plus subscriptions go out. Will they cancel them for a single rotation for this action? Probably not. We saw in recent figures that only 7 games had sold more than 100,000 physical copies in the United States in 2026 thus far, and numbers likely haven't changed since Sony decided to scrap discs from January 2028. Ultimately, it's an attempt to push a social agenda for a campaign that's already wavering, prioritized across a platform that's inundated with bots to battle a business decision months in the making that isn't going to change for the love nor money. Folks are welcome to participate, but I love to be a fly on the wall of those slamming PS blackout while booting up their PlayStation 5 consoles from August 23 onward. The other thing, now, this doesn't fall within that release window, so I see why they didn't bring it up. You guys, Rockstar has told you what the deal is on Grand Theft Auto 6. You can go into the store and buy a PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X or Series X. You can go in and buy a PlayStation 5 version or an Xbox version of the game. When you open that plastic, there is nothing in there but a digital download code. You're not going to find a disc. You better do your best to make sure you don't drop the code and lose it. That's all you're going to find in there. So everybody's like, we've been waiting for a new Grand Theft Auto for X amount of years. I can tell you exactly how many years. 13 years. The last Grand Theft Auto came out months after my kid was born, and she just turned 13. Happy birthday. So I've seen a ton of people can't wait for GTA, can't wait for GTA, can't wait for GTA. So now you're not going to play GTA 6 because Rockstar is not printing this for that game either. Like, what do you do at this point? So, kind of looks a bit shady, you guys. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. So if you guys are gonna do it, go ahead. I don't know. I don't know. I will tell you this. This is very interesting. Capcom hits 93% digital sales record through 2026. Capcom appears to be pioneering the digital revolution in gaming space based on recent figures. It was revealed in the company's latest financial report that a whopping 93.3% of all sales recorded through quarter one of the current fiscal year for the firm were digital, leaving physical sales to account for a paltry 6.7%. Figure was bolstered by the success of Resident Evil Requiem, which has become one of 2026 best-selling titles, pushing Capcom to the highest volume it has seen in 5 years. Well, the digital push marches on. Recently, Sony Interactive Entertainment revealed an intention to scrap the production of discs for new PlayStation games from January 2028 onwards. Of course, it prompted incredible backlash from the wider gaming community, prompting a petition, a boycott effort, and a global blackout action arranged for late August. You guys can get mad at PlayStation all you want. Capcom's the publisher. They see these numbers and they're going to start to think, why the fuck do we need to print discs? Telling you guys, it's the writing is on the wall. The writing is 100% on the wall. Again, and I've said this: the first person to do something is generally when it's something that kind of pushes back. They're not considered popular. Again, look at what happened to fucking Muhammad Ali. If nothing else, look at how Muhammad Ali was treated. I'm sorry. All right. Years later, people acting like they don't know what anybody's talking about. Everybody always loved Muhammad Ali. That's not true. It's like most people did, but then there are you assholes who treated him like shit just because he said he didn't want to go to Vietnam to shoot somebody who hadn't done him wrong. He's not wrong. Sorry, he's just not wrong. Like, do not kill. Like, everybody wants to talk this, oh, we're Christian and Catholic, and the Ten Commandments say do not kill. But if you go do it for your country, it's perfectly fine, right? Anyway, in other news, Spider-Man 2 gets a new update adding 2 free suits and enhanced PSSR on PlayStation 5 Pro. Oh, these suits look crazy. New suits are inspired by Brand New Day and Marvel Tokon. As announced by Insomniac Games on its official X account, the game's new official Twitter account. V1.005000 update is rolling out today. The update adds 2 new suits as well as support for enhanced PSSR scaling on PlayStation 5 Pro. It also adds support for Power Save Mode, which lets PS5 consoles save energy by reducing game performance or resolution. The first free suit that's been added to the game is inspired by Spider-Man Brand New Day, which is releasing this weekend in cinemas. And if you're listening to this, that means it's already out. I'm going on Friday night. The other free suit has a more cel-shaded look because it's based on Spider-Man's look in Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls, the Sony published fighting game set for release on August 6th. Um, the movie suit looks good. The Marvel Tokon suit looks fucking amazing. Marvel Spider-Man 2 was released in October 2023 with the PC port following in January of 2025. The game sold over 5 million copies in its first 11 days, according to Sony, with total sales sitting at 16 million as of November of 2025. VGC Spider-Man 2 review called it an incredibly confident sequel and one of 2023's best games. Incredibly fun to play, fast-paced, and full of heart. It takes the best of Spider-Man lore and the best of Insomniac's penchant for excellent gameplay sequences and combines them for arguably the best Marvel game ever. Interesting. So if you have not played that game, you should definitely pick it up. What else do we have? Oh, the August PlayStation Plus games. I have those for you. PlayStation has officially announced the 3 games coming to PlayStation Plus Essential tier this month. August selection consists of 3 games which will be available for players to claim from August 4th until August 31st. And let's see what these games are. The first of these games is Dying Light 2 Stay Human Reloaded Edition, which is available for both PS5 and PS4 players to claim. This is joined by Big Walk, the PS5 cooperative multiplayer venture designed around talking to your teammates. Finally, the third game in August selection is Signalis, a PS4 survival horror in which players search for their lost partner and lost dreams. All 3 games will be available to claim from August 4th until August 31st, at which point they'll be replaced by another selection of titles. As ever, players who claim the game will be able to continue playing them players who claim the games will be able to continue playing them after they're no longer available to claim as long as they remain subscribed to any PlayStation Plus tier. Players can continue to claim July's PlayStation Essential games until that should be August 7th. These include Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 for the King 2 and Crossroad. Sony previously announced starting in January 2026, PlayStation 4 games would no longer be a key benefit of the service, with the platform holder instead turning its focus to offering PS5 titles. This doesn't appear to have happened, however, as the addition of PS4 games Signalis this month suggests. So those are the games to be on the lookout for PlayStation Plus. If you like, build your game library. If they're gonna give them away for free, take them. You might stumble upon a gem. Every couple of months they'll throw a really good one in there. So like, just build your library. Why the hell not? You know what I mean? Actually, let me turn on my PlayStation and see if I added any of those. Modern Warfare is probably the one. I might actually have that one. I don't know. I can't remember. Who do we have? Oh, wow. Wow. Okay. Well, this is very interesting. And to be completely honest with you, I'm not surprised considering the situation. Um, all right. These actions are not taken lightly. Double Fine has laid off 23 staff after going independent. Unfortunately, this was going to more than likely happen. The studio, founded in 2000 by former LucasArts veteran Tim Schafer, was acquired by Microsoft in 2019 and developed Rad, Psychonauts 2, Keeper, and Kiln after that. Following news last month that Xbox planned to cut thousands of jobs as part of what CEO Asher Sharma called the most significant restructure in Xbox history. However, a number of Microsoft-owned studios face closures. Some of these studios started negotiating with Xbox to go independent in an attempt to avoid closure, and Double Fine was successful in these negotiations along with South of Midnight studio Compulsion Games. As a newly independent studio, however, Double Fine has found itself having to cut costs to remain a going concern, which says has led to layoffs. Quote, today, Double Fine Productions let go of 23 members of our staff, Schaefer said in a statement posted on Blue Sky. Quote, as a small, tightly knit team, these actions are not taken lightly. Only the survival of our studio would ever make us consider such a painful action. Our transition to becoming an independent company also means becoming a size that we can sustain. These people we are losing were all important. They all made an impact on our games and culture, and they will be missed. We are committed to supporting each affected person as best as we can, and we thank them for their hard work and commitment to the creative spirit we cherish here at Double Fine. While becoming an independent studio was doubtless considered preferable to being shut down entirely by Xbox, the move is not a guarantee of safety. and such studios will have to work on new projects soon to bring in finances. Earlier this month, Compulsion Games, which also recently became independent following its acquisition by Microsoft in 2018, posted a message on its LinkedIn page reaching out to other studios offering collaborative work on any projects they may need a partner for. With Compulsion Games returning to its roots as an independent developer, we're expanding opportunities to collaborate with studios across the games and entertainment industry, it said at the time. They're searching for their next job. That's literally what this is. They're searching for their next job. They're searching for their next spot. Being independent, it has its advantages and it also has its fucking disadvantages. And these are the disadvantages. It has now been a month since Sony announced the physical disc games will be discontinued for PlayStation consoles from January 2028, and the decision continues to see fierce debate online. Now, in an interview with Automation, project leads on Clair Obscur have said that while they understand the reasons for Sony's decision, it's still disappointing news. Quote, personally, I find it super sad because I really like video game stores, Sandfall Interactive CEO and creative director BMA Broch said. And even if nowadays I play mainly on PC myself, we have a lot of people on the team who play on PS5 and love to collect physical discs. I think it's part of the beauty of art too, that it's something tangible that you can touch. And that's how I feel. I do feel this way. I like having something tangible that you can actually touch. I was hesitant. I'm trying to remember the first full album that I bought from iTunes. And it was only because I went to the store and couldn't find the CD. I would buy singles here and there, but the first complete album, I want to say, oh boy, I'm gonna have to go back and look and find what my first purchase is on there. But yeah, I like having physical media, having something tangible to actually reach out and touch. I think it's part of the beauty of art too. Again, that's something tangible you can touch. I completely appreciate the people that want to have their rows of DVDs and games and just feel like they own them because they do. So I think it's a shame. I mean, business wise, I can understand why it makes sense, but I think in terms of the artistry of video games, it's a sad decision. Sandfall co-founder and CTO Tim Gearman added that the studio insisted on releasing a physical version of Clair Obscur, despite making less profit on those copies because it was an important thing to do. I have 3 films that are available to view on like Tubi and Amazon and Apple and stuff like that. We sold Blu-rays. Why? Because there's something about having the physical copy. There really and truly is. But we sold Blu-rays, but the movie is available to stream. So, but this is why I understand why, you know? As a physical release adds more constraints because you have to account for the production time of the physical items and you also earn less money per copy. Cameron explained, but for us, physical was something special. We also felt the game could be special to players and that they would want to, as Gimel said, hold it in their hands. So even though it made things harder and meant less money per unit, it was important for us to provide players who want to have a physical game in their hands with an option because that's what we value as players too. As well as the importance of physical copies to players, Broch added that it was also a meaningful thing for a developer to be able to hold a finished product in their hands as a symbol that their work was complete. Quote, there were 2 very strong moments when the game released. He recalled after launch, we went to a video game store to buy our own game just as a gesture. Another strong memory I have is when someone from Japan sent me a picture of our game from the video game store. And I don't know, Japanese writing all over it. I felt like a kid when I saw it. I was like, yeah, it's real. It starts feeling real when you see it in stores. Lead character and concept artist Alan Renaud added, even now when I'm going to the supermarket or something if I see our game in the store, it always makes my day. It's a bit selfish because it's our game, but also makes me go, oh. Knowing that may not be possible, again, makes me a bit sad, and maybe it's the child in me, but I would like to go outside, buy a game, and come back home with it. It's a nice feeling. And they're not wrong. And it's not just because it's our game, Renaud interjected. I think that's what's cool about physical games in general, is that a few years later, you'll have your box and you can hold it and look at the title and remember all the memories that are linked to this game. And they're not wrong. Nobody really gets that from going to your apps, games and apps on your Xbox or PlayStation. Like, look at all the games I bought. There's a ton in both of my libraries, but I don't invite people over to like, hey, check this out. I'm doing the Lord's work. Excuse me. I'm a bit sleepy. I apologize, you guys. What else do we have? Crazy Taxi World Tour is close to getting a closed network test in September. Applications are available now. The test will take place on September 11th through the 13th. It will be available on Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 5, as well as PC. Application for the tests are now open on the game's official website or running until the end of August. Sega warns, however, that's only a small number of players will be invited to take part in the test, which is designed to test the stability of the game's online multiplayer functionality ahead of its full release. According to Sega, the closed network test will contain access to two multiplayer modes called Pickup Race and Cops and Cabbies. In Pickup Race, up to 6 players will compete with each other to drop off as many passengers as possible within a set time limit, earning as much crazy money as possible, it says. In Cops and Cabbies, players will be split into 2 teams competing against each other. The test will feature 2 maps, 6 cars, 4 playable characters, and a variety of car tune-up options. It won't feature any single-player gameplay, which will, of course, be present in the final release. Save data will not carry over to the final game. Sega also released a new trailer for the game showing off the game's West Coast map. So I know a lot of people are Crazy Taxi fans, so much that they watch the Jimmy Fallon and Queen Latifah Crazy Taxi movie. I didn't go that far. What else do we have? Um, I got to tell you guys, I think that's it. I think that's actually it. Very, very short show today. I apologize, but there just weren't that many gaming topics this week. But we're into the doldrums of summer, and this is expected. It's very rare and strange that I've been able to have hour-long shows this summer, but there's been some other stuff going on within gaming, so it allowed for that. But just not much that to talk about. So I'm gonna go ahead and bid you guys adieu. Remember to believe in yourself first and foremost, because if you don't believe in yourself, of course, nobody else will believe in you. As always, my name is Derrick Lamon Jackson, and that is my time. You'll have a good one. See you around.